Greetings, students. Today we're going to do Module 3, Topic 1. I'm Thwala NZ, Office Administration Level 4 lecturer. This is our textbook that we use as our reference, the one that we use for our NCV program office practice. And these are our publishers. This is Module 3. We're going to start off from page 28 to page 44. So these are your resources that you need for this lesson. So here are your lesson goals. These are your subject outcomes, and these are your learning outcomes. So by the end of this lesson, you should know how to compile reports using correct information, and you should know the effective ways of distributing reports to meet specific deadlines. So now you've learned a lot about the reports, the structures, the layouts, and everything. So today we're going to look at the writing process. So how do you go about writing your report? You've got 6 steps. As you can see the cycle here. You can also refer to page 29 to 30 on your textbooks. Pre-write, this is our step 1. So what do we mean by pre-writing? That is our first step. It's whereby you plan. You gather all the information that you need for your report. You put it in place. It's whereby you get ready for your writing. So it is your pre-writing. That is step number 1. Then step number 2, it's where you draft. So when you draft, it's whereby you practically start writing your reports, but you write it as a draft. It's whereby you whatever information that you've gathered from step 1, now you can just put it in place for step number 2. You write down the information that you need or that needs to be included, and information that you have collected as well. So you now put it in writing. Then we move on to step number 3, which is revise. So what do we do in revising? So it's revising, I beg your pardon there, it's revising. So what do we do there? It's whereby you look at ways of how you improve your reports. You decided what you have written so far, and does it make sense, and then you put it together. Then you move on to step number 4, which is editing. When it comes to editing, it's whereby, by the way, step number 4 and 5, editing and proofwriting, they are a link. Why is that so? It's because when you edit, you also proofread. You put whatever that you needs to be put in place, and then you proofread it if it makes sense or not. This is a proofreading. You read it over and over and until you get it right. Make sure that it makes logic. It is logically. It is clear. It is correct. You check the font size. You check the that is edit. You check the font size. And then you put your full stop where they're supposed to be. We talk of grammar and everything. And then when it comes to proofreading, again, you listen to yourself as you read the reports. See if it makes sense. And then the last step, but not least, is printing. Finalize or printing. That is where you print out your reports. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the next slide, which is characteristics of effective reports. So here, the following aspects are not only characteristics of effective reports, but also suggestion and specification to adhere to when writing reports. The report must follow the correct layout, structure, and format. What do we mean by that? You cannot write a progress report in a accident report layout. It definitely won't make sense. So it needs to be a correct layout and a correct format and a correct structure. So you mustn't confuse the reports. Be clear and understand what report you're writing, and write it in the correct format and in a correct structure. Be purposeful and accomplish the goals it has sent out to reach. Be written objectively without any emotional language. Okay, so here you need to be honest. You don't have to use vulgar language. You just write a language that you, even though you can put your feelings professionally and in a good way, but not way you don't have to write vulgar and so forth. And then we use only the necessary information. It must be true and be accurate. Number 6, be concise and straight to the point. You don't have to run in circles. You just write it straight into the point. It must make sense, give a logical, it must give information and in a logical way. Use correct language that is simple and straightforward. You don't have to use bombastic words that will make it hard for another person to read the report. It must be easy to read. Must have relevant headings. That is number 10, with related information under each heading. It must be free from errors and punctuation, grammar, and spelling. That is our point. That is the previous, you remember the cycle that we did on the first slide. That is where editing and proofreading comes in. It must be free from errors in punctuation, grammar, and spelling. Let's move on to number 12. Use the correct tone, tense, and choice of words. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Effective ways of distributing reports. Now that you know the steps, and then you know how to write the reports, you know the effective ways of a good report. So now we move on to distribution. You have to send it out. You've done writing it, you've proofread it. Now you need to hand it over to a person that you remember on our previous lesson. We've learned about the different type of reports and whom it is intended to. So now in this stage is whereby you send it to the correct person or to the relevant person. How do you send it? These are the distribution ways. Okay, you can send it. Okay, on Office Practice Level 4, we have 5 specific methods of distribution. That is electronic mail, posting, internal mail, courier delivery, and delivery. So here in electronic mail, please refer to page 42. That is whereby you will find out more, because here we've got the pros and cons of electronic mails, meaning we've got the advantages and disadvantages of sending a report via email. So please, it is a must that you refer to this page to find more information. Okay, and then we have posting. Posting is can be classified as outgoing mail and incoming mail. What does this mean? It means when it comes to posting, you can send it outside the organization and you can also receive it. That is incoming mail. Outgoing mail is when you send it from the organization to another. Okay, and then we have internal mail within the organization. That is where you distribute it within the organization. Courier, as you can see, this is our courier guy. Okay, how does this courier service works? You've got same day delivery, you've got 24-hour service, you've got overnight, you've got international service as well. And then when it comes to delivery, we've got a whole lot more. Please refer to page 42 to page 44 for delivery. I've only mentioned 2, but there's 2 more that you have to look out for it on page 44, which is door to counter and door to door. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day.